In Oliver Stone's 1986 war drama film, Platoon, an ensemble cast of actors brings to life the haunting and devastating experiences of soldiers during the Vietnam War. The film stars Charlie Sheen as Private Chris Taylor, an idealistic and naive young man who enlists in the army and is sent to Vietnam. Willem Dafoe plays Sergeant Elias, a compassionate and respected veteran of the conflict, while Tom Berenger portrays Staff Sergeant Barnes, a ruthless and unstable leader of Taylor's platoon. Other notable cast members include Keith David as King, Johnny Depp as Lerner, and Forest Whitaker as Big Harold. Platoon offers a harrowing and deeply personal look at the experiences of soldiers in the Vietnam War, exploring themes of morality, power, and the human cost of war. Stone himself served in Vietnam and drew on his own experiences to create a visceral and authentic portrayal of the conflict. The film follows Taylor as he arrives in Vietnam, initially optimistic about his mission and the role he will play in the war effort. However, he quickly realizes that the reality of combat is far different from what he imagined, and he struggles to maintain his humanity in the face of the violence and chaos around him. One of the film's most memorable characters is Sergeant Elias, played by Willem Dafoe. Elias is portrayed as a deeply empathetic and moral soldier, who cares deeply about the well-being of his fellow soldiers and the Vietnamese people. He is a natural leader and earns the respect of his platoon through his bravery and his willingness to put himself in harm's way to protect his comrades. However, he also has a darker side, as he struggles with the trauma and brutality of the war and turns to drugs to cope with his pain. Ultimately, Elias becomes a tragic figure in the film, as he is betrayed by one of his own men and left to die in a brutal ambush. Opposite Elias is Staff Sergeant Barnes, played by Tom Berenger. Barnes is portrayed as a ruthless and violent soldier, who is willing to do whatever it takes to win the war. He is feared by his men and respected for his combat prowess, but his methods often cross the line into outright brutality. Barnes has a personal vendetta against Elias, whom he sees as a threat to his authority and a weak link in the platoon. The tension between the two characters drives much of the film's conflict, as Taylor is forced to choose between the two very different philosophies of leadership. Platoon is notable for its unflinching portrayal of the violence and horror of war. The film does not shy away from showing the brutal reality of combat, including scenes of soldiers being maimed and killed in gruesome ways. Stone's use of handheld cameras and natural lighting adds to the sense of realism and immediacy, placing the audience right in the middle of the action. The film also explores the moral complexities of war, as soldiers are forced to make difficult decisions and confront the consequences of their actions. Another important theme in Platoon is the idea of power and its corrupting influence. Throughout the film, we see characters struggle with the power they hold over others, whether it is Barnes' absolute authority over his platoon, or the Vietnamese villagers' fear of the American soldiers. The film also explores the idea of powerlessness, as soldiers are forced to confront their own vulnerability and mortality in the face of a seemingly endless conflict. Platoon is also notable for its use of music, which serves to heighten the emotional impact of the film. The film's score, composed by Georges Delerue, is haunting and melancholy, perfectly capturing the sense of loss and despair that permeates the film. Stone also uses popular music from the era, such as The Doors' Hello, I Love You, which is used to great effect in a scene where Taylor is smoking marijuana with his fellow soldiers, providing a moment of respite from the horrors of war. The film's portrayal of the Vietnamese people is also worth noting. While the majority of the characters in the film are American soldiers, Stone takes care to depict the Vietnamese people as complex and fully realized individuals, rather than faceless enemies. The film shows the devastating impact of the war on the Vietnamese people, particularly in scenes where the soldiers destroy villages and murder innocent civilians. Stone's decision to humanize the Vietnamese people is a powerful statement against the dehumanization of the enemy in wartime. Overall, Platoon is a powerful and devastating film that offers a deeply personal look at the experiences of soldiers in the Vietnam War. Through its complex characters, authentic depiction of combat, and exploration of themes such as power and morality, the film offers a nuanced and unflinching portrayal of the human cost of war. Stone's own experiences in Vietnam give the film a sense of authenticity and urgency that is hard to match, and the ensemble cast delivers powerful performances that bring the characters to life. Platoon is a classic of the war film genre and a must-see for anyone interested in exploring the complexities of human conflict. If this content was valuable to you, would you please be willing to give me a like, a subscribe, or a comment? It would help this channel a lot. Thanks.